You are a failure and a terrible liar. Miracle Aboagye. I daily update TV show. And then our first time I share this war and the new book and snow heading. No one subscribe ya my send being news be no she be will be notification function about shafting so a marry visual besha more than for so and you beauty for me and can some thing. See seen a Miracle Aboagye finally no what I started to say a year Bawumia a terrible liar. Was a big failure to Ghanaians. No way didn't who your parent just say backdoor compensation just say about one thing just say we can't a year Miracle Aboagye to one man a parent just saying yes and good one. We not Kelvin to the cassette. Bawumia any policy be Bawumia Babontia or see oh me 33 policies and meet me their Aboagye for na then about then a Mahama will beat me. You see, Bobo commit machine 33 nil on she be that. Meet the press encounter keke crampono now fambo was also. Unti she. Now all to us no can say. Nema wa fili near fa a year petuangala. Mahama time now wo catch and say or incompetent. One junior catch and say or incompetent no. Then time no now a 1 gallon of petrol 16 cities. What time for 16 cities at the 68 cities? Why are you incompetent? We no cancer dollar rate so. Mama time ne $1 to 4 cities and $1 16 to 17 Ghana cities. Why are you incompetent? Now we no can say Bawumia bomb Bawumia wa bon ye ba me mo wini mo hwe on the new comedian. Why she as a vice president has me awoka. See a couple 33 new we. I asked my car, Mr. Kamning could take him to the bar.
1 million Ghanaians who are living below the poverty line since Bawumia came to power. Oni Kufuado. Let's say Kufuado with Jimmy because every day Bawumia say on the policies 33 were introduced and no entity. Now, Nyoma ma list to and do 33. All the things I've listed so far, Nina F. And it's a when you're F in chains. Why should any reasonable Ghanaian say, upon the over 2 years, upon the 1 year, 8 years, when to make 1A and poem, ever seen there? Why should any Ghanaian go to the ballot and say, make a trauma student are born? Because we're born, technically, we're born. GDP, we're born. Unemployment rate, we're born. Fuel prices, we're born. Banking closure, we're born. These are all your policies. So we are talking about things that you also were introduced to. Technically, Mahamudu Bawumia is telling us to say we're born and we are not supposed to give him that nod. Bawumia is a failure. The terminal report number ready by 10 patch. Sekasi ready Bawumia 33 terminal report. Subject by subject. Bawumia is a failure. He does not even deserve to stand in front of anybody to say Tumame na mimbedi ganenim. 33 policies Nina has been a failure. Nina F. You are an F in chain student. Now when we say Bawumia nipebia. Say if you did china ni sunku. Ena sa usane na ni sunku. Bawumia told us this. Okay, TV so I Bawumia nya trofo adede and say na Bawumia be make say Bawumia trofo. Bawumia is a terrible liar. He's a pathological liar. Bawumia ye dey try bo ekadesu. Ye dey try abonidua. Ye betu about 1,000 different videos about Bawumia contradicting him. In some Bawumia kache Ghana for a wendi so and when you Bawumia is a liar. Now muntie Bawumia or say if this was football, I would have beaten former President Mahama by 33 goals. Yes, we our lower campaign. Right now, so what's study Bawumia? The campaign no ensure any study, ensure any focus. Mahamudu Bawumia has not even spoken about on one manifesto for about since or launch manifesto on car manifesto do WhatsApp. Bawumia so launch manifesto. And manifesto no and the ensure and fanche edi juma obedi ntoma no Mahamudu Bawumia nam Ghana ha nyina kasa they say oduru baby me de menya president da tuma me na me president. He has even forgotten say our manifesto bia e was so church bu Ghana for adikudie ntia ntoma no. The reason is simple. Bawumia ya trofo ena Bawumia enhyeda ni message manifesto ni ya troe no onim se bibia ni wa ebetumi aiden ama Ghana for etie no manifesto na on people for troe no. How many times do you even hear them refer to their manifesto? And Bawumia every opportunity be also kasape ose mo manya president minye bi da na se Bulgaria on their president da ke betuma na dibi ana meboa Sebio yenu anuma ebi mabɔ dam nam Ghana so almost nye president da ke betuma modi so mo Ghana for yeah obi onam Ghana street to be betuma the president it is our message nyane say me ndi president da ba me kodi bia then you are trying to tell us say Sebio you don't even qualify because obi o qualify no at the end of the day ne juma na be kire so o qualify so ubo Black Star so 33 goals so ubo team o modebo ene odian o discipline ene be kire coach no our team no obebo and obe captain enye wo na wo ka kire coach the coach media minimum bow for me tum coach make say wo pre ho krampo no say be o me na me decide enye wo na wo decide my coach in this instance yen ye decide who to lead us it will make kire say by force who need be the infama no enye wo nkwa na we Ghana ni you so many Ghanaians who need president they betum dia momo kire ya de kudi ntia yemfa de yemfa Ghana ne hya won sa also with the 33 policies aba Ghana and into the Emma president. Tie Mahamudu Bawumia say or the 33 policies aba. And the 33 policies ninti any Kenyan president. On send your hand busa Bawumia say where anyway also we are vice president we are the head of economic management team. Why buying introduce e-levy? I'm not introduce baller tax. I'm not introduce emission tax. I'm not introduce bebraba. Adan na wuntwem. Bawumia ka kire Ghana for say ono onye den, onye president on taking decisions or cabinet. Right? When it came to questioning Bawumia about critical things to say, nyoma Ghana for say and there we are the head of our economic management team no. And also to me at the end of the day, take a decision because at this point, near Ohana, a young girl Ejina Bawumia nimka say makon nursing training school 4 years. Ye mama alawa. Bawumia stood on platform kachira Akroma and say, I am going to instruct the accountant general to pay. And I said it means you still have some power to make some decisions and to change things. Inti sa ukachire say 33 policies inti tomorrow. The question here is sa 33 policies no edien sakraye na edi aba Ghana for abrabom. Because I can list some of the policies I would buy and me busa will say some policies here I would buy any no. At the end of the day no a day na e dey abekan Ghana for abra bonwa yen find and emaundi president because one Bawumia you introduced a yedien dollar oba na say dollar no what my there what dollar no so what to key what to key what the key na my IGP over $5 no L4 today the dollar is at almost 17. Policy ben now introduce here or the dollar and free 4 it could do 17. Sa policies will be any interest so infant amount in your president. Bawumia obaye na petrol na 16 cedis a gallon. Now why breso and the petrol 68 cedis a gallon. Inti policy ben now introduce here or move petrol. A year from petrol has moved from 16 cedis a gallon all the way to 66 cedis for a gallon. A dear policy. Into policy ben now introduce here any petrol every 16 cedis a gallon to 68 cedis a gallon. So policy way na yensha na yensama onya president and these are questions we are asking. Because also yensha policies are already aba. Because policies no ebi and ama petrol movie every day 16 cedis a gallon to 68 cedis a gallon. Now the same person Tema oba power policies are introduced here no na Ghana eka edaho na 120 billion and yeka over 700 billion policies now we introduce here no and in a movie yeka every 120 billion to 700 billion it is our policies na yensho ho na yema wo be president and because you keep saying say all the 33 policies aba ye busa say policies we na yensho ho ma be president. Now some of the policies e bi nie inflation time about power now inflation was 15%. Ekoya could do 56%. And inflation is around 20%. Now, Mimbusa will say, Sa policy are picking inflation from 15 to 56 and now to 20. No, Sa policy nintina minjina so not Ghana for entwa bamawana. These are questions we are asking you. Obiandi di watem. Ya besi ya so ni minyansa. Now, oba power. unemployment rate unemployment now it was 7%. And the unemployment, since I'll buy with your policies, we have unemployment rate, it is at 15%. Now, the question here is, policies now what they buy, and no enema unemployment, it was 7%. And the unemployment rate, I do 15%. Sa policies way, and I so and to abamount. I want to ask you a simple question. Now, Ghana's GDP, time about 2017, all the policies in the buy, now Ghana's GDP, now 56% to the 56%, and the Ghana's GDP is 103%. So policy I introduce here we move GDP from 56% to 103%. So policies in the ensure Emma president now. Time out by January 7th. Now local banks are not operate to Ghana. 33 policies and the goods our banks win. So 33 policies and the good banks win. In the end, 33 policies now you enter about president because all your policies are maybe none of the policies and Aboagye Ghana. The American all your policies you introduced at the end of the day, everything is a negative. It is a terminal reporter. The American FO. The American BIF. Now, Obaye after you Bawumia 33 policies. What they buy about as we speak today, we have about
na yebeka Mraka Aboagye ankaza mu na jetum say Bawumia nyu obi a oye candidate for omo because a whole Bawumia spokesperson about bonten den ogu na ni message say nya asem keto so say no o say Bawumia so den pataku na okosi mpie so a na ono no den claim say niema ankoye nyina ya akofado but niema ekoye ni de hwan dia ono na yeye as economic management team no about bonten can you pay as economic management team no who order say obey baby ye fa a bro ku shia en go for be on northern region I just say a ya kwa ke tue bi just on so e wo e tertiary level I just on wa nursing ni final year no we na also on G allow ni bi kwampo no I just obusa no question no as no kind so okwa obako instruction mo so then na video babo intemeka say the uni sa to me na ubitim the isa LGBTQ plus and everywhere uni to me abit me covid test everywhere this is more let me so that order now so the work on my sani pakono no tia nursing trainees allowances for no na be so chesing come no go take teleba ni den komodwe na abane wi
say ejuma no enyo na president muntie this particular video.
You have presided in 8 years over the collapse of our economy. If you knew the plan that could work for the economy and be successful, why haven't you implemented that plan in 8 years? Why? If you know what can work for our economy, why is the economy collapsing in your hands after 8 years?
Why don't I do it now? And why do I want to? I must have a manifesto. Otherwise, if I could, what would I do when I come into office? I mean, how can you do everything now? Even President Mahama, former president, who was president, I'm only vice, but he was president. Why didn't he do everything then?
So you see, Bawumia was a petuku or a political petuku. Also, or a Bobrisky. Makachem said Bawumia or a political Bobrisky. If you didn't chin and 9 left or your bar, say it's standing free 9 left, never chin and 9 right now or a Bema or a political Bobrisky on Kanokre. On say Utie Bawumia when he encounters people and I say or Kasa when it comes to critical issues I also answer or say a Yekufo na president And I am not the president. Ubusan LGBTQ also is the president's decision. Semenya president. Ubusano. I free SHS. Oh, and Yenny at the buy and quite imagine it. Also, to one of good for oil. Oh, I am idea. Good for oil. Men am the buyer. Ubusani e-levy also a collective decision. Or a political Bobrisky. Or just a gun of Jimmy. Ubusano emission tax also and a collective decision. A cabinet. Ekufado has the right. The budget is signed by the president, not me. But he prepares the budget. It is always study Bawumia very well. Or a political Bobrisky. Or just a gun of Jimmy. The person and say, dear Denny, dear young farmer no. Now the end dear young farmer MPP party no. Now here, this is how they think you are foolish. Oh, but Bawumia, I'll say the drip program is our NPP idea and not anyone in parliament, so no one should take credit for it. On and so much articulated bills a day and what they mention of friends saying excavators be able say oh a constituency behind you back fan could try to cancel. Or so say no any dia any the buy. Kwasiato ubusani e-levy also a collective decision and there wa unim ekufo dem dey decide me call cabinet am to also join on say we end on nam or see omo the excavator biaba excavator no mo bia nkoka say e obi idea of parliament e any MPP for the buy e me na me di anim ubusani e-levy per no adani jimi you know ubusano emission tax betting tax ubusano port charges no adani jimi or dani no ko ba pe or say oh ye na di we buy on say Bawumia or your political Bobrisky or just a gun of way Jimmy inti or study the no yemfama no the anya ne de Akufo de na Jimmy on the cabinet they decide ye inti ende sa Antobiasi excavators mi no mo kwasa bae no o si o ma obi anka se e obi adwene e ni MPP na de bae inti e ka che MPP se mo na mo de galamsey bae ya and the Ghana nso nyina se ade na obeka so ene de se no e Akufo de ne cabinet they decide kwasi ya oh or your political Bobrisky or you somewhere Jimmy unim o ma ka che ne se Koswa ne koso chatrono Bawumia bodami yentimi nyahu bibia sana makache no intom dem se koso de twaso twantro no yenim de ebeye into ono ogina bibia the whole thing he does and say responsibility he never takes responsibility but he always wants to take credit eche wa bodam you are a leader you don't want to take responsibility but you always want to take credit eche wa bodam when you catch man amubuofu. You are the leader. You need to take responsibility for Ende Galamsey say Ghana and Sunyina because you have been in power for 8 years. You have everything, every power to stop Galamsey. In the end, you don't want to take a responsibility for Galamsey. You don't want to take responsibility for people who were killed during the elections. You don't want to take responsibility for the GDBR and baby Edu. You don't want to take responsibility for dollar code 17. You don't want to take responsibility for unemployment rate. You don't want to take responsibility for anything. But you want to take credit for things that makes you look good. This is how politicians Ghana and Bawumia is a typical example of a pathological liar who has turned himself into a politician. Mahamudu Bawumia or your munafikio or your incremoni or yupreko omo mixi fruit anyway and the man and the campaign so me catch it all. They blend vegetables and wheat for him to drink. And to me, I know what these people are doing to him. Now, Shade. This is Bawumia. Yeah. What's that in Bium? Kaswa Winiba dualization project is a government project and not ECOWAS project. Let no one lie about it. Also Kaswa India. Omo MPP no mo ye. Ofui. Ubusani e-levy pe osi Akufo de Jimmy for no. Ono ne nkwasiafo ne wo adwene de e-levy ono onim e-levy hu bibia. We or your political jantre ni. Onka no kure.
Abusiafo ne tifo ni atinsema came till a babontia beka chese no kano ade just ne imore mi pa ye bobo boy nsam so tin edifa miracle Aboagye nsemi ala betudwa edifa say Bawumia is a terrible liar na Bawumia so see den e beka o a big failure pa chese ono no kwampo say or support MPP amanuku no akoya de say imore mi pa we no can say Bawumia so say den any policy bia bobo bon semi chese bi won say Bawumia a big failure. If I petrol bought 1 gallon a war a NDC a manuku time now $1 a the same. 1 gallon a 16 Ghana cedis. Then so I 68 Ghana cedis a queen in pound to say any as and go to If $1 rate is so $1 so heading 4 cities, and they say I could do 16 to 17 city. I just don't know how they say more remi pan. We no can say about me and this was born ye pan. Just say we name she farm more. Yeah, can say a year. John Dramani Mama Grandbo can say now Bawumia who name what it takes to be a president. Who name she farm one as well about they can you pay. Now see how go share meet the media no. Once I was the farm bono. When the fundamentals are weak, the exchange way to expose you. When the man can share and fast answer no, and now what they far from with him. We no can say, and dear Dibiano, Bawumia son a year, a dear you know be say Akroma na fairly LGBTQ plus who need 2 minutes to beat him their sign. But a black we shall not dance for what to say, Becca a year, small new be just all baby a year in nursing a year trainee no I just all can say. If you are bar from level 100 no unya la we be there's all kinds of quack instructed. The word instructing just say oh to me and baby so how come says that LGBTQ plus now is a person a better Ghana come untim and young baby which is about me a pathological like say a year came to about bunting ability some information just any answer to what. Me so be anti me intimate can be in our drinking I go comment section beating me so I share more down for so. And you be actually subscribing my any no book and so I delay the TV.